Today we have the Champions League, but it is in alphabetical order. Also, you guys may have noticed that I'm actually standing and I'm not sitting. Well, that's because I got myself a standing desk, and because I'm an old man, sitting for long periods of time is not very good for my hips, not very good for my feet, and it's not very good for my posture. So you're going to be seeing me standing a lot in videos from now on. So there's a total of 32 clubs that play in the Champions League, 8 groups of 4 starting with Group A and ending in Group H. So each group will have 4 clubs that represent that letter. As an example, Manchester United is in Group A, but they don't start with the letter A, so they're gonna have to be replaced by a Premier League side that starts with the letter A. And there are 2 clubs in the Premier League that start with the letter A: Arsenal and Aston Villa. So let's spin the team decider wheel and see who's gonna be replacing Manchester United in Group A as the letter A club, and it is gonna be Aston Villa. Aston Villa, welcome to Group A of the Champions League. Bayern Munich is also in Group A, but they also have to be replaced because they don't start with the letter A, they start with the letter B. And there is 1 club in the Bundesliga that starts with the letter A, and it is Augsburg, so Augsburg is going into Group A. Galatasaray does not start with A, it starts with G. They also got to be replaced. And there are 3 clubs that play in the Turkish Super League that start with the letter A: Adana Demirspor, Antalyaspor, and Alanyaspor. So let's spin the team decider wheel and see who's replacing Galatasaray in Group A, and it is gonna be, which side is it? It's Antalyaspor. So Antalyaspor, welcome to the Champions League. And lastly, in Group A, we need to replace FC Copenhagen, and there's 1 club that plays in Denmark that starts with the letter A, and that is AGF. So Group A is completed. We have Augsburg, we have AGF, we have Antalyaspor, and Aston Villa. Group B has Arsenal, PSV, RC Lens, and Sevilla, and they all got to be replaced because none of them start with the letter B. So one of these 4 clubs from the Premier League that start with the letter B in Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth, and Burnley will replace Arsenal in Group B. Spinning the team decider wheel, who is replacing Arsenal in Group B? And it's gonna be Burnley. Burnley, welcome to the Champions League. Now, unfortunately, there's no club that starts with the letter B that plays in the Netherlands in the Dutch Eredivisie to replace PSV. So we're going to spin the wheel of leagues to see which league we're going to get a team that starts with the letter B, and it's going to be from Turkey. So one of Başakşehir or Besiktas will replace PSV in Group B. Which club is it going to be? Let's find out. It looks like it's going to be Besiktas. Besiktas is back in the Champions League. Welcome. Now, is there a club that starts with the letter B to replace RC Lens? And there is. There's 1 club, and it is Stade Brestois, aka Brest. And finally, Sevilla in Group B is going to be replaced by the only club that starts with the letter B in La Liga, and that is Barcelona. So Group B is looking like this. It's Burnley, it's Besiktas, it's Brest, and Barcelona. Off to Group C of Real Madrid, Napoli, Braga, and Union Berlin. They all got to be replaced. None of them start with the letter C. And there are 2 clubs in La Liga that start with the letter C. One of them will replace Real Madrid. It's either Cadiz or it's either Celta Vigo. Which one is it going to be? Celta Vigo or Cadiz? It's going to be Cadiz. Cadiz, welcome to Group C. Napoli will be replaced by the only side that starts with the letter C in Italy in Serie A, and that is Cagliari. And the Portuguese side Braga is also going to be replaced by the only side in Portugal that starts with the letter C, and that is Casapia. But the last club in Group C, in Union Berlin, there's no actual team in the Bundesliga that starts with the letter C, so we're going to have to spin the wheel of leagues. Which league are we going to get the last club for Group C? Who's it going to be? Spain. Is it Spain or Romania? It's Romania. Do they have any clubs that start with the letter C? And they actually do. 1 club, CFR 1907 Cluj. Welcome to Group C. Welcome to the Champions League. And so Group C is completed. It's Cadiz, Cagliari, Casapia, and Cluj. In Group D, just like in every other group, all the 4 clubs are going to have to be replaced. Real Sociedad, Inter Milan, Salzburg, and Benfica, they're all going to have to go. Since we're in Group D, Real Sociedad has to be replaced by a team that starts with the letter D from Spain, from La Liga, and there is 1 club, and that is Deportivo Alaves. They will be replacing Real Sociedad. But unfortunately for Inter and Italy, they don't have a team that starts with the letter D in Serie A. So we're going to have to spin the wheel of leagues to find out which team is going to be replacing Inter Milan. From which league are we going to find a team that replaces Inter Milan? It's going to be from Germany, the Bundesliga. And we're going to give that spot to Darmstadt 98. They start with the letter D. They're replacing Inter Milan. And just like with Inter Milan, there is no team that starts with the letter D to replace Salzburg from Austria. So we're going to have to spin the wheel again. All right, Wheel of Leagues, give us the league that we're going to find the club to replace RB Salzburg, and it's going to be from Sweden. Any clubs that start with D in Sweden? Yes, there is. There's actually 2 clubs. One is Djurgårdens and one is Degerfors. Who's replacing RB Salzburg from Sweden? Is it Djurgårdens or Degerfors? It's going to be Degerfors. Welcome to the Champions League here in Group D. And to finally finish off Group D, we have to replace Benfica. But again, in Portugal, there's no club that starts with the letter D. We're going to have to spin the wheel, lads. Spinning the wheel of leagues to find the club to replace Benfica, and it's going to be from Scotland. Is there a club in Scotland that starts with the letter D? Of course there's, guys. and there's one club. It's Dundee FC. Dundee FC is replacing Benfica. Dundee FC, welcome to Group D. So Group D is looking like this. Deportivo Alaves from Spain, Darmstadt from Germany, Degerfors from Sweden, and Dundee FC from Scotland. In Group E, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Feyenoord, and Celtic, they all gotta be replaced because none of them also start with the letter E. And there's also no clubs in La Liga that start with the letter E to replace Atletico Madrid. We're gonna have to spin the wheel. Spinning the wheel of leagues to find a replacement for Atletico Madrid. It's coming from Belgium. And for Belgium to replace Atletico Madrid, it's gonna be this club right here, Eupen. E-U-P-E-N, Eupen? Eupen, welcome to the Champions League. Lazio from Italy does have a team that can replace them in Serie A, and it is Empoli. So Empoli is in. And so does Feyenoord. They have a team that can replace them as well from the Netherlands, Excelsior. But Celtic in Scotland, unfortunately, does not have a team that can replace them. There's no clubs that start with the letter E in the Scottish Premiership. So we're gonna spin the wheel of leagues to find the replacement for Celtic. And which league is it gonna come from? It's gonna come from England. And the only E club that is in the Premier League, it is Everton. Everton, welcome to the Champions League instead of Celtic. Group F, Borussia Dortmund, PSG, AC Milan, and Newcastle, they're all getting replaced. And Borussia Dortmund for Group F has to be replaced by a club that starts with the letter F. And in the Bundesliga, there's one club, Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt, welcome to the Champions League. And PSG will be replaced by one of these three clubs, FC Lorient, FC Metz, and FC Nantes. They all play in Ligue 1 and they start with the letter F. I guess FC just means football club, but we're gonna count it. It counts. Spinning the team decider. Who's replacing PSG? Is it Metz or is it FC Lorient? It is gonna be FC Metz. Welcome. Now AC Milan has to be replaced, and there's two clubs that start with the letter F that play in Serie A. One is Fiorentina and Frosinone. Who will it be, Fiorentina or Frosinone, that replaces AC Milan? And it's gonna be Fiorentina. And finally, the last club in Group F has to be replaced as well, and it is Newcastle. There's one club that starts with the letter F that plays in the Premier League, and it is Fulham. So the Premier League side Newcastle is being replaced by the Premier League side Fulham. Group F is actually kind of crazy. Frankfurt, FC Metz, Fiorentina, and Fulham. Only two groups left, lads, and we're gonna go to Group G, where it is Manchester City, RB Leipzig, Cervena Zvezda, and Young Boys. But don't worry, they're all gonna be replaced because none of them actually start with the letter G. So Manchester City, you're not gonna be in the Champions League. And there's actually no team that starts with the letter G that plays in the Premier League. So we're gonna have to spin the wheel of leagues for Manchester City. Okay, we gotta find a team that's gonna replace Manchester City. Which league are they coming from? They are coming from Turkey. Do they have any teams that start with the letter G? I can't believe I forgot this. Of course they do. Galatasaray. They have Galatasaray, but they also have Gaziantep. So one of Gaziantep or Galatasaray is gonna be going into Group G, and it is gonna be Galatasaray. And Leipzig is gonna be replaced by Borussia Mönchengladbach. I know it's called Mönchengladbach, but there's actually not a lot of G teams, so we're gonna replace them with Gladbach. It starts with the letter G. Gladbach it is. But to replace Cervena Zvezda or Dinamo Zagreb in the game, we are gonna have to spin the wheel of leagues. Who is gonna be the third team in Group G? Which league are they coming from? They are coming from Sweden. And so Cervena Zvezda or Dinamo Zagreb, they will be replaced by Göteborg. Göteborg, they actually went to a Europa League final, I believe, in like the 70s or 80s. Somebody remind me. I forgot when it was. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, but Göteborg has been to a final, guys, and they're coming to play in the Champions League. And Young Boys from Switzerland in Group G will be replaced by another Swiss side. It is GC Zurich, and the G in GC, it stands for Grasshopper. Grasshopper Zurich, welcome to the Champions League. Group G is also kind of interesting. Galatasaray, Gladbach, Göteborg, and Zurich. I mean, probably Galatasaray and Mönchengladbach are the favorites, though. And finally, we come to Group H of Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Royal Antwerp, and everyone is gonna have to be replaced as well. And not a single club in La Liga starts with the letter H, so Barcelona, we're gonna have to spin the wheel for them. Let's find the league where we're gonna find a club to replace Barcelona, and it's gonna come from France. And so Barcelona is gonna be replaced by the only club in Ligue 1 that starts with the letter H, and that is Havre. Le Havre AC, welcome. Porto, of course, also has to be replaced, but they're not gonna be replaced by a Portuguese side because there's no Portuguese sides that start with the letter H, unfortunately. Let's spin the wheel for Porto, guys. We gotta find a replacement for Porto. Which league is it coming from? Is it Netherlands or is it Italy? Netherlands. Netherlands have a team that start with the letter H. It is Heracles El Melo. They're gonna be replacing FC Porto because they start with the letter H and FC Porto doesn't. So Heracles El Melo, welcome to the Champions League. Now, because Shakhtar Donetsk is in the rest of the world section, are there any teams that start with the letter H in the rest of the world section that can replace Shakhtar Donetsk? And yes, there is. There is Hajduk Split from Croatia and HJK Helsinki from Finland. Now, which one of these two clubs are going to be replacing Shakhtar Donetsk in Group H? And it is going to be the Croatian side, Hajduk Split. And finally, the last team to be replaced in this draw and in Group H, it is Royal Antwerp from Belgium. But unfortunately, there's no clubs in Belgium that start with the letter H, as you can see. So we're gonna have to spin the wheel. Spinning the wheel for Group H for Royal Antwerp. Which league are we looking at? We're looking at Turkey. And Turkey does have one club that starts with the letter H, and it is Hatayspor. I think I said that right this time. I know I've said it wrong in my previous videos, but Hatayspor, welcome to the Champions League. You're in Group H because you start with the letter H. Okay, lads, the group stages are done of our alphabetical order Champions League. Let's see who's making it out. And I can tell you in Group A, it will be Augsburg and Aston Villa that come out of Group A, the two A teams. In Group B, it will be Barcelona and Brest that are moving on. Besiktas and Burnley are eliminated. Group C, it was Cadiz and Cagliari that dominated the group. Well, actually, Cadiz mostly dominated. They actually were undefeated on 14 points. Group D saw the German side Darmstadt move on and Deportivo Alaves. Those are the two clubs that are moving on. And in Group E, guys, oh my god, it's Empoli. Empoli topped the group, and Eupen in second, Excelsior in third, and Everton. Oh my gosh, guys, Everton, bottom of this group. There's no way they couldn't get out of a group with Empoli, Eupen, and Excelsior, guys. Like, Group F did see an English side progress, and it was Fulham that topped the group over Fiorentina, who finished a close second. Eintracht Frankfurt is eliminated, and FC Metz put up the worst performance we've seen so far. 0-6, 0 points, FC Metz. I thought they were better than this. And finally, in Group G, it is Gladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach. They topped the group, and Galatasaray in second. Group H, it was Hajduk Split that topped the group. They absolutely dominated this group. Haver in second place on 9 points. Herakles Elmelo is unfortunately eliminated, and so is the Turkish side, Hatayspor. Bye-bye. So in the round of the 16, it will be H teams and Hajduk Split versus Cagliari, a C team. Then Gladbach, a G team, versus an A team, Aston Villa. Fulham F versus D, Deportivo Alaves. Augsburg A versus H, Haver. Empoli will take on the F team, Fiorentina. The C team, Cadiz, will take on the G team, Galatasaray. Barcelona, the B team, will take on the E team, Eupen. And finally, the D team, Darmstadt, will take on the B team, Brest. The round of the 16 is over. Do we have any upsets? Hajduk Split, by the way, guys, is moving into the quarterfinals. The Croatian side, Hajduk Split, 1-0 over Cagliari. The C team, Cagliari, going home. And so is, unfortunately, Aston Villa. They were beaten by Gladbach. Borussia Mönchengladbach, the G team, they're moving on. But the Premier League side, Fulham beat out Deportivo Alaves. They are moving on, unlike Aston Villa. They're going to the quarters. And then the H team, Haver from France, beat out Augsburg. Augsburg is going home. They're eliminated, and Haver's in the quarterfinals. The team from Group F, Fiorentina, is also moving on because they beat out Empoli 2-1. And a club from Group G in Galatasaray is also moving on because they beat out Cadiz 2-1. And Barcelona almost lost. They won 4-3 on penalties over Eupen. And finally, the German side, Darmstadt from Group D, took out Brest from Group B 2-1. So our quarterfinals are looking like this. It will be H versus G, Hajduk Split versus Gladbach, F versus H, Fulham versus Haver, F versus G, Fiorentina versus Galatasaray, and B versus D, Barcelona and Darmstadt. Are we gonna have any more fairy tale runs? The quarterfinals have come to an end, and let me tell you that Borussia Mönchengladbach, the G team, beat out Hajduk Split. Croatia's Hajduk Split run ends in the quarterfinals 2-1. But Fulham is making a run to the semifinals, guys. Fulham beat out Haver 4-3 on penalties, and Fulham is in the semifinals. While Galatasaray from Group G is also in the semifinals. Galatasaray beat out Fiorentina 3-0. And the club from Group B, Barcelona, beat out the club from Group D in Darmstadt 3-1. So the last four clubs standing in our alphabetical order Champions League are Gladbach from Group G versus Fulham from Group F, and then another G team in Galatasaray versus a B team, Barcelona. I would absolutely love a Fulham Galatasaray final here. Okay, lads, I don't want to spoil it, but we have some shocking results. The first semifinal, it was G versus F, Gladbach versus Fulham, and I can tell you that Gladbach is going to the final. Unfortunately, they beat out Fulham 3-0. Fulham ends their run in the semifinals. An impressive performance nonetheless. And then the other one, it was G versus B, Galatasaray versus Barcelona. Who is joining Gladbach, Borussia Mönchengladbach in the finals? It is going to be Galatasaray, they beat out Barcelona 2-1. Barcelona bottled it. They are going home in the semifinals. Galatasaray is going to the finals, lads. And we are going to watch the final, of course. We are at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu for the final, the Alphabetical Champions League final. It is Galatasaray. It is Borussia Mönchengladbach, G versus G. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Borussia Mönchengladbach are in their green, and Galatasaray is, of course, in their red and yellow / orange kit with the yellow short with the white shorts. I don't know who to cheer for, actually. They're both kind of underrated teams, and all of a sudden, Borussia Mönchengladbach take the 1-0 lead here. Oh my gosh, right away. Sasha Bowie gave the ball away, and there was nobody else on defense. And it was just an easy finish for Gladbach. An easy finish for Jordan. Or is it Jordan? Jordan or Jordan? Either way, 1-0 for Gladbach. Torreira to Icardi. Out wide to Artukoglu. Inside to Mauro Icardi. Icardi in. Icardi. Oh, Icardi. Mauro. Brother, you got to score that. Galatasaray is coming close. 23 minutes in here in their Alphabetical Champions League final. And Davinson Sanchez gives the ball away. And Borussia Mönchengladbach can be on the attack here. Playa with a shot. It's blocked. Sanchez, nice tackle. Save it. Hakim Ziyech inside to Artukoglu. Inside to Mauro Icardi. He can carry. He'll hold on. What's he going to do with it? Are we going to see any world-class goals here today? Out wide to Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech with the ball roll. Back heel to Icardi. Back to Ziyech. Ziyech inside to Lucas Torreira. Sasha Bowie. Is there a cross in the making? There's the cross. Right into the goalkeeper's mitts. Weigl almost had the shot. Almost had the chance. But Galatasaray clears, and that's going to be halftime. 1-0 for Gladbach on an early goal. Icardi did have a good opportunity as well, but he couldn't convert, and Gala has some work to do in the second half. Second half is underway. Back heel. Lucky bounce to Jordan. Another back heel to Playa. Playa holds on to Jordan. Honorat. Nets. Shot blocked. Torreira can clear it out to Muslera. Fernando Muslera will just play it to Angelino. 60 minutes in, and Gala is they're in trouble. They're in trouble. Look at them. They're pinned. Abdul Karim inside to Lucas Torreira. He'll go out wide. Artur Koglu will carry. Will carry more. Icardi. Icardi. Icardi! He picks up the ball. He picks up the ball. It's 1-1. Galatasaray equalize. We might be going to extra time here, guys. Mauro Icardi, the hero of Turkey. The hero of Galatasaray. Mauro Icardi. What a ball. Brilliant. Zaha. Inside. Oh my gosh. You could have shot. Sabachu inside to Playa. Playa back heel. Neuhaus. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Borussia Mönchengladbach. 88th minute. Neuhaus. A defensive breakdown by Galatasaray. Awful. Just absolutely awful schoolboy defending. Look, no one is covering anybody. Where are all the defenders? Where is everybody? He had a clear shot. Just no one is even covering him. Galatasaray, I mean, if they score here, I don't think they will. I think that's going to be it. That's it. That's it. Galatasaray blow it in the final, guys, after beating Barcelona. They beat Barcelona, and they blew it. They absolutely bottled the final. They weren't great. So Borussia Mönchengladbach, Gladbach, G, they are your Champions League alphabetical order winners. I mean, it was deservingly so as well. I think Borussia Mönchengladbach played better than Galatasaray for the most part of the game. Icardi had a couple of chances. He missed one. He scored another. He had a good cross. Zaha probably could have had a shot on net in late stages in the opportunity there, but he decided to pass it, and ultimately the ball was intercepted. But it is Gladbach that lift the Champions League alphabetical order trophy, guys. Borussia Mönchengladbach, they are your champions. My friends, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this alphabetical order Champions League. If you got any other cool ideas that you want to see on the channel, please let me know them down in the comments. And can we get some L's in the comments for Barcelona bottling the semi-final? But you know what? Borussia Mönchengladbach, if you're a Gladbach fan, fully deserving, man. You guys played well. You guys deserved it. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay happy and stay healthy. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Keep smiling, all right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, 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 peace.